Well, hi, everybody. We're still tracking some storm systems crossing the region here. One comes through on Wednesday. That one doesn't look too bad. Could be some storms over there in the Arklatex with that. Maybe some breezy weather over our way with it here in North Texas and southern Oklahoma. But the bigger storm comes into play on Friday across our area. And that one, again, storms well east of us, but big wind and a lot of issues with the Friday system here. So, yeah, it's a major storm system. Strong winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts possible there during the mid to late afternoon on Friday here. In addition to that, you throw low humidity. I'm talking about relative humidity, 10% or lower. That's very, very dry. With those strong winds, you create a ripe recipe for some big-time fires here that could spread fast on Friday, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Now, in addition to that, the barometric pressure with this system is going to be what's called deepening, or it's going to be intensifying as it moves from the front range of the Rockies. We're talking about this side of the Rockies in Colorado early on Friday morning, and then by late in the day and at night, this thing will be all the way up there into the upper Midwest, and that could bring with it, again, a lot of deepening. You see the low pressure fall fast here. And that's going to bring our barometric pressure, at least down here in North Texas and southern Oklahoma, to about 990 millibars, which is about 29.93 inches of mercury. The center of that low pressure across northern Kansas, southern Nebraska, will be somewhere near about 974, 972 millibars, which is equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane. And pressure like this can create a lot of aches and pains in your body, especially if you're susceptible to weather-related illnesses, migraine headaches, rheumatoid arthritis, or that old jerky knee down there. It can really create problems for you on a Friday here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. So it is an inclement weather day here. Any storms with that would stay east of Texas and Oklahoma for the most part. Water vapor shows just kind of quiet conditions. I love showing the water vapor imagery because you can really see detail on it. And our first spin is over here across southern parts of California. And this is our big storm for Friday out here. This is acting like a kicker about to hit a soccer ball or maybe a field goal kicker in football. We can say that this is our soccer ball or our football here. Here comes the kicker. Boom, it's going to kick it and push it out of the way quickly. And that storm, this one here, will be zipping across the southern U.S. on Wednesday very rapidly here. And then this system will be coming across the area on Friday. That's the one that brings the big wind with it here. So, yeah, the next big impact, of course, we talked about this yesterday here. We'll talk about it again today. Low pressure intensifying just north there across Kansas, southern Nebraska. And behind that dry line, we look at that wind really picking up with that low humidity. And it looks like there could be some really bad fires here, perhaps across western and northern parts of Texas, maybe even central and southwest Texas too, and then across a good part of central, western, and northern parts of Oklahoma. And that could even spread all the way over there into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Again, thunderstorms with that would be east over there in parts of eastern Arkansas into Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, those areas. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Well, watch the barometric pressure. This is going to be at 6:30 on a Thursday evening here, and this is being measured in millibars. Watch what happens. Here's our storm developing, low pressure just east of Denver, Colorado. Here we go. Watch, I'm going to put it into motion. Look at this thing really, really intensifying here. This will be by 4:30 in the afternoon on Friday. Your center somewhere up here near Concordia, Kansas. That shows a barometric pressure of about 977, but again, it'll probably be a little bit lower than that. And even down here in North Texas, Dallas at 994, Wichita Falls at 991, 986 millibars there in Oklahoma City. That's that deepening low pressure area. And then it finally begins to move on out of the way late Friday night and into Saturday. So expect improving conditions. It won't be as windy on Saturday as well, maybe a little cooler behind that. Checking out wind gusts. Now, Wednesday, remember, storm system number 1 zips across the area. Breezy conditions with that. Some of those wind gusts could be up above 30 at times. Could be some high fire weather concerns, especially across parts of West Texas, maybe western parts of Northwest Texas too. We'll see what happens. Thursday should be an okay weather day, but here comes the bigger storm as we head into Friday here. And this is going to be early on Friday morning, but look at how these winds really increase. This will be by late morning, early afternoon. Some of these winds are gusting up above 60 to maybe 65 miles per hour, and some of these winds might even gust up to hurricane strength at times. Could be above 70. And this type of wind going to be blowing a lot of dust across the southern plain states here. Also going to be perhaps creating some sporadic power outages, maybe some sporadic minor wind damage here. So that's something to also keep in mind as well. We check out that humidity. This is going to be Wednesday afternoon. This green represents where your moisture is. The brown, and especially where you see this white color, represents really, really dry air. Put this in motion, and you can see it kind of zipping on through. And just look at all that. I just went through way too fast, but you get the picture. Going to be a lot in the way of really dry air over us with that system here, with the moisture staying just off to the east there. So now let's kind of switch gears, and we go from the windy and the dry aspects of this storm to talk about the severe weather aspects of the storm. Now, the month of March, typically speaking, when you look for severe weather, it's usually found over here in Arkansas, Mississippi, the southeastern parts of the country, and sometimes it can get up in Missouri. And this system is a very dynamic system. It has a lot of wind with it here, a lot of push in the atmosphere. One thing it doesn't have, at least on the northern side of it, is a lot of moisture here. You're going to have a flow of some moisture coming in from the Gulf, but it may not have time to really juice up and catch up with the better, what we call dynamics up here up north. So I don't know that Friday will be a major, major severe weather day. I think there will be severe weather, mostly in a line, and you might see a more significant threat for maybe some severe weather if some of that moisture can make a return up here to the north. So maybe Memphis, maybe Little Rock, maybe down into northwestern Mississippi could be some here. So we're going to call for severe storms with some strong winds there and maybe some gusty winds, maybe some tornadic area. But what I think may be more of a significant severe weather event may come into play across the Gulf Coast states on Saturday here. That big storm kind of lifts up to the north, and in its wake you got another storm, area of low pressure, that's going to develop from eastern parts of Louisiana, western Mississippi, and move northeast from there up towards Memphis, Tennessee, about mid-afternoon on Saturday. And in this instance, though, you have a lot of moisture, a lot of warm, moist air in place, and it should be fairly unstable down here, too. So you got a heightened threat for some severe weather with all severe weather aspects possible across Mississippi and a good chunk of Alabama. You're looking at heavy rainfall, flooding is possible here. Also looking at hail, high winds, supercell thunderstorms, and those could produce some tornadoes, especially early on. I'm talking about early mid-afternoon. There could be some really nasty tornadoes down here in Mississippi, especially eastern Mississippi and over there into western Alabama. Of course, it's still early in the game, and a lot of time to watch that, and things can certainly change. This is where it's showing thunderstorm potential here. This will show you kind of what kind of happens. As you can see, the atmosphere is just not super ripe on Friday with the big storm system. It does get better late in the day, especially up there towards Memphis, and you can see the Gulf Coast starting to get a little bit more juice. So again, severe weather, especially kind of in and around the Memphis area here on Friday. And then look what happens. So Friday night into Saturday, atmosphere really getting primed down here in Alabama and Mississippi. And that's where we're kind of highlighting the area for maybe some more significant severe weather there on Saturday, especially morning into the early afternoon. And I know that's well east of us, but I'll still talk about what's going on in these areas. Because, as we get later into April, that severe weather threat usually pushes back to the east. But you know that oftentimes when you see an active weather pattern this early in the season, you're going to see a break at some point in time. So getting into April, there could be a break, and that might kind of set the stage for maybe some quieter weather across the country here. I'd like to kind of wait and see how things go later on in April and May. Oftentimes, when you're this active this early, later on, the atmosphere tries to transition quickly to more of a summer pattern, and that's a possibility that could happen. We may not see as much severe weather across the southern plain states, central plain states, but that's just a bit of a reach there. I'm just kind of thinking out loud a bit, not a forecast. So we check out here. There's Wednesday. Could be some thunderstorms, arclitex. Those will be mostly hail producers. And then as we get into Friday, here comes the next storm system. You can see the storms mostly in kind of an arc or kind of a line over here in parts of Iowa, Missouri, there in Illinois there. And you can see some other, maybe a separate area, some storms down here in Mississippi. And then as we get into the afternoon and evening, you can see that line progresses to the east. Now here's early Saturday. These would be at least initial supercells across Mississippi here, and they could be tornado producers. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. And you can see all that activity by the afternoon shifts east over there into eastern Mississippi and Alabama. Kind of, like I say, kind of a mixed mode. Supercells and a line of thunderstorms, tornadoes, winds, all that will be possible. Of course, we're Tuesday, that's Saturday, things can change, but it's looking like it could be pretty rough over here in this part of the country here. So we got a lot going on this week. We got the fire weather threats, the wind out here, the severe weather threats to the east. It is March, And that's what happens in March. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind, please.